Today I'm going to tie our VX Nymph. Ultraviolet has gotten so popular that everybody is coming out with ultraviolet flies. So did we. And our VX Nymph has caught us a lot of fish when we were testing it, and of course since we've put it on our site we've had a really good luck with our nymph. It just has been unbelievable for us. We tested it mostly at Georgetown, which I never fish a nymph at Georgetown normally, but I sure caught the fish there on a nymph. And Big Hole River we love, and we did well there with it also. Okay, so I just tied in a tail of wigglies. Now that's GX wigglies, which you'll find on our UVX material page. Actually, it's our UVX page. We have flies and materials on it. And these are GX wigglies, UVX GX wigglies. And that's what I'm using for my tail. Now, I'm going to take a couple of half hitches, and I'm going to dub a little bit of brown dubbing over where I tied that fly, or the tail in. I kind of like to have the brown dubbing under my stretch tubing, which, by the way, I better get tied in. Okay, that's stretch tubing that we also have on our site. That is also UV, and it looks really nice, works really well, and people seem to like it. I know I sure do. And I like to have that brown, some brown dubbing under that tubing. Don't need a lot, just a little. Okay, and now I'm going to wrap it right up, basically, or wrap my thread right, wrap the tubing right up to where I quit with the brown dubbing. Don't have to wrap side by side. It looks kind of cool to have a little bit of that brown in between the tubing. Okay, now that's as far as I'm going to take the tubing, do a couple wraps, and I'm going to tie that off. Secure it down good and cut it off. Okay, now do a couple of half hitches there, and the next thing I'm going to tie in is my scud back. We also have the scud back on our site, and I believe we do still. Anyway, it works so great for a wing case, and this is also UV. Okay, there it goes. Now the dubbing I'm going to use for the thorax is actually our UVX dubbing with legs. We have several colors. This is hare's ear. We sell quite a bit of it now. It's getting popular, and with those little legs in it, it really gives the fly a lot of action. Between that wiggly tail and the wigglies in the dubbing. So I just wrap that around. I kind of go over it so it's tied down good. Put a little bit more on to go all the way up to the bead. It works great if you use the wax. I do when I'm tying production, use the wax, but I just didn't do it today. Okay, so now I'm going to pull that scud back up to the bead and secure that down. Cut it off. I'm going to do a couple of half hitches over it. I did a little bit more. Okay, now I'm taking my Velcro brush to it. I'm going to just go ahead and give it another whip finish and cut off my thread. Tie it off. Okay, turn it over. Brush it good with that Velcro brush. I don't know if you can see those wigglies coming out or not, but boy, I tell you what, they sure give this fly some action. Don't have to brush a long time. That's good enough. You get any that pulls out too far, just give them a cut them off, and trim it if you want to. Okay, so that is the VX Nymph. Now, I hope you can see that. Like I say, there's a lot of action in it. It's got our dubbing with legs. We also have several other dubbings. We've even got UVX Kraken dubbing. Okay, so that's the nymph. We also have our stillwater nymph in UV. Get the light and I'll show you the stillwater nymph. I hope you can see the coloring on that stillwater nymph. That's UV. Of course, this is the VX Nymph. Then, one of the best flies of 2015 was our UV Muddler. Now, we sell this in several sizes, and it has caught so many big fish this year. It actually was the fly of the year for us in Georgetown and on the Big Hole. It was just unbelievable how well we did with that fly. Doug caught so many big fish on that fly. It's like, oh gosh, who cares or he didn't care what other fly he used hardly, because he was catching so many fish on the muddler. Now I have a couple of other flies that I want to show you here that we carry that are in UV, and this little guy is Mighty Mite, which some of you might be familiar with on our site, the little Mighty Mite. It is UV, and we've caught a lot of fish with that little fly also. And let me get a hold of, I put this in my hemostat also because it's easier to hold it. We have a little emerger fly. Like, if any of you are familiar with our tip and sip, this is just like the tip and sip, but it's in UV, and also does very well. I don't know, I hope you can see the colors in it. Very, very, very great fly. Caught a lot of fish on that. So anyway, check out our UVX page and give some of these flies and dubbing a try.